Alright, welcome! This is Genevieve Plays Rise of Berk, and today we are talking about the Veiled Specturf collection as requested by someone, and if you stick around towards the end, I will give you my review of this week's event calendar and which dragons I think are worth spending your runes on. Alright, so just briefly looking at the dragon itself, his stats are actually pretty good, not in the top range, but in the high middle range as far as stats, 13.1 million at max level for 13.5 hours. That's actually a pretty good length of time, and also he is from the new flock, and so it's nice to catch the new dragons because they won't be around for a while after this. So this might be one that you want to catch for collection value, if not for his gathering stats. Alright, so looking at the items, this is actually a hard collection. We need a lot of them. The chances are harder on this one with longer time costs, so this is going to be a bit rough. Stick with me. Also, I am sorry that Ludia put the hardest one third, so I have them out of order from my chart based on what is in the event sheet from the Discord resource. However, I'm not going to move everything around now, whichever way, so I'm sorry. So it'll be one way when I show the items here, and then another way when I get to my chart. Just hopefully translate it. It is the one item that has 6 rather than 10. The rest of them have 10. So this collection is hard. If you have not watched one of my videos before, to briefly explain how this works, all the items have a time cost and then a chance to get that item on the search. Toothless needs to be searching for a minimum amount of time to get the item. Does Alpha affect this? No. Using Alpha does not lessen the time that Toothless is searching as far as the time cost for an item. So even if Toothless is only searching for 6 hours, it counts for the original 6.5 or 7, whatever that 100% would be, that Toothless, the Alpha costume, knocks off 10%. So the Alpha costume does not affect time cost. If you have Snoggletug costume or related costume that increases item chance, we're not sure exactly how that works. If it reduces time cost or increases chance, we're not sure. We haven't been able to figure it out. But the costumes do not negatively affect time cost. So there we go. I'm going to walk through each item and how much time cost it has and all of those things. So just stick around. We'll go item by item. Alright, the first item are these targets. We need 10 of them. The time cost is 2 hours, so this will be the easiest one. Normally, the easy one has a time cost of 1 hour, so 2 hours is already harder, and the chance is 90%, so you can probably get most of these pretty easy. Now, the average time here is calculated by if you are playing free bag. We'll look at my chart at the end, so if you use 4 bags or 3 bags, it'll take way less time. The time cost is 2 hours. The most efficient is going to be the half hour and the 4 hour. I just like longer searches, but if you're an active player, then you can do the half hour and do speed ups, but I would say generally to avoid the hour-and-a-half search and stick to the 4 hours. But after you've done 5 4-hour single bag searches and you still need more items, then maybe do a few half hours, because after 5 4-hour searches, the 4 hour will be wasted. If you're using multiple bags, then you would want to calculate accordingly, because time cost is the length of the search times the number of bags. So if you're doing a 3-bag search at the 4 hours, that counts as 12 hours. So 2 3-bag searches should get you all of your items. So you kind of want to calculate that way. I haven't calculated all of those for you, but you can kind of extrapolate that from the chart and from this data here. So I would say stick to the 4 or half-hour searches on the targets. However many bags you use, it's your playing style. Alright, for these masks, we also need 10, but the time cost is 2.5 hours, and the chance is 80%. So 2.5 is really awkward, but the 5-hour one fits in quite nicely. So I would say go ahead and stick to the 5 hour, and you will need 6 bags at 5 hours, basically, and then maybe a little bit after that, like using the hour-and-a-half search, but you might be able to get all of it within 6 bags, so that would mean, like, 2 3-bag searches or a 4-bag and a 2-bag if you're a writer. You can play around with it. After you've done 6 bags, however you total those 6 bags, then use one of the hour-and-a-half searches and you might have them. After that, you probably wouldn't need too much more. But this is the average time. It could be more, it could be less. Okay? All right. This is the hardest one. I'm just going in order. I'm sorry, but anyway, so this is the hardest one. We need 6 of them, but the time cost is 6 hours, and there's a 60% chance. So with 1 bag, you need 60 hours total, roughly, to get this item. So I generally would just like to stick to the 6 hour because that fits in well. But if you can kind of finagle the math with the 8 or the 14 hour, you could make it work. So for example, 4 14-hour searches might get you all of them, but also because the chance is so low, it's kind of rough to send Toothless out for a long search and then not to get the item. That's a bit rough. So I would say stick to the 6 hour. I think it's going to be your safe bet. So start with this one and stick to the 6 hour searches. That's what I would recommend you do. Even if you could do well with the others, you don't have enough time to play with that. So stick to the 6 hour search on this one. Just be safe. Alright, and then for this one, it's easier than the last one. They put them in the wrong order. I'm sorry. The item count, you need 10 of them, and the time cost is 4 hours with a 70% chance. You need a total of 57 hours searching with Toothless. Now, because of the time cost, I am doing 4 hours because that's the most efficient search to use, but if you are a more active player, you could do either the 2 or the 3 hour search, because you do need 57 hours total, and 57 kind of goes with 3s, well, kind of. So just do whichever works for you, but I do think that the 4 hour will be the most efficient for you. So there you go, there's item by item. Alright, so looking at my chart, you can see I would go ahead and recommend taking a screen cap for this. So they are in a slightly different order than I talked about them, but as you can see for the gas bag, the hardest one, it'll be a total of 60 hours if you're doing 1 bag. So if you're using 2 bags, it'll be 30 hours. If you're using 3 bags, it'll be 20. And if you're using 4 bags, it'll be 15. So basically, the 1 bag is the total hours you need searched. But what's listed in the 2, 3, 4 bag rows are the actual time of how it will play out. So that's how you can put together what I said that you need for total time, and then this chart shows real time. The redded out squares are those that aren't possible because we only have 4 days. So you could theoretically get this in 4 days using alpha costume and max ads, but that is a little bit undoable. Not everyone is able to sit there and watch ads all day. So I do recommend even using some bags. If you look at this, you could get by with 2 bags even without alpha costume. If you use most of your ads, you could probably do most of this with 2 bags and be fine. Remember to stick to the most efficient searches. If you need to get this collection done faster, then go ahead and use 3 or 4 bags, but this is absolutely doable with 2 bags even if you don't use all of your ads. You can see in the total time box right there. So this collection is hard to do with 1 bag, but totally doable with 2 bags. So I really recommend that you use 2 bags, but faster if you want to use 3 or 4. So there you have it. That was Veiled Specturf. I'm going to move on to briefly reviewing the monthly event calendar. Alright, so this is our calendar. If you are rune poor, I don't blame you. It is very hard to save up runes, and pretty much I am planning a rune video. I will get to a rune video. Sorry it's not out yet. But anyway, the best way to get runes is to not spend them. I'm sorry, but just not spending them on your daily tasks. That is the short version. But anyway, so if you are rune poor, you need to pick out who you want to do. So I would say the absolute highlights from this month are Veiled Specturf and Summershine because they're from the new flock. But as far as gathering rates, the all-stars are Flowshot and Sleuther. I'm not discouraging you from getting any other dragons. You can get whichever dragons you want, but I'm going to briefly show you why I like these the best. So we already talked about Veiled Specturf. I'm not going to review that. But looking at Flowshot, those are amazing, amazing stats. Look at that. 9.5 hours for 20.3 million on wood and 23 million on fish. That's amazing. So definitely get Flowshot. Looking at Summershine. Summershine has decent stats, but mostly is just a pretty dragon from the new flock. So that's why I would say to get this one. Pretty Flightmare. And then just showing you from the flock. So you could get 2 out of 5 during this month. So that's pretty cool. And then Bolt Bite is okay. Those are pretty good stats, but if you're trying to pick who to focus on, this might not be one to focus on if you can't afford him. Sleuther is a must-get. Those are pretty good stats, and I generally recommend triple strike statues. If you're on the Discord server, you know how much I love triple strikes. Those stats are pretty good, especially with a statue. This is my Sleuther. I took a screenshot. Sorry, he's not moving. This is my Sleuther from my Berk at 150 with a statue, and you can see he has 22.6 million. And you can see his iron stats are pretty good. He does fish. Most triple strikes do wood. So yes, he is definitely worth getting. And then if you can at the end of the month, his costume is amazing. I am excited for his costume. I will definitely be doing a video for both Sleuther and his costume because Sleuther is one of my gauntlet maids. So to have this costume, I am super excited. So there we go. That's a review of this month's calendar. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a lovely August. This was Genevieve. I play Rise of Berk. Bye.